Shalom. I want to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, Call Holo Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Hamashiach. Again, the name of the Father is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shah Hamashiach. I want to get through this real quick, but this is evidence that the chemical weapon attack in Syria was false, and the white helmets actually work for the terrorists and are funded by the government with the full knowledge of the government that they work for the terrorists. All right, and it all goes back to Operation or Project Timber Sycamore. All right, so I'm going to show this as pure evidence that the Syrian chemical attack was a false flag to give the United States of America, Saudi Arabia, and Israel a reason to invade Syria.
These are harrowing scenes. Panic, fear, terror, soaked, trembling children, screaming adults, and as strange as it may seem, many of them had no idea about what was going on.
That's the kid after.
My mother told me that.
That's the kid after the so-called false flag. It was a false flag chemical attack, and he's perfectly fine. All right, and he's explaining what happened.
We had run out of food and wouldn't have anything to eat until tomorrow. I heard a noise outside. Somebody was shouting that we had to go to the hospital, so we went there. When I came in, some people grabbed me, started pouring water over my head.
11-year-old Hassan Diab was one of the apparent victims in the White Helmet's video. Here he is, after being drenched and sprayed. He was found in Duma and interviewed by a Russian war correspondent, Evgeny Podubny. He's fine, if a little confused.
Same kid. All right, and the White Helmets were created by the United Kingdom, and what they are used for is to stage propaganda. All right?
That's me in the video, that's me. Yes.
As were many other kids. Any child would be terrified. Ergo, the panic, which the White Helmets were there to film. He was eventually found, though, by his father, who was none the wiser.
I didn't hear anything about a chemical attack. I was outside, but I didn't notice anything. I heard that my family was in the hospital.
It does make sense. A poisonous gas would be invisible, you'd imagine. Everybody would want to take precautions, especially when you're hungry, and they give out food at the hospital.
I went to the hospital, walked upstairs, and found my wife and children. I asked them what had happened, and they said people outside were shouting about some smell and told them to go to the hospital. At the hospital, they gave dates and cookies to the kids.
One of the doctors, who was reportedly on shift at the time, seemed surprised by the sudden influx.
Some people come to here and wash people in water, and they said, chemical attack. We didn't see any chemical attack symptoms here.
The doctor and others did, however, say that some people came in complaining about difficulty breathing, which is common. When an explosion destroys a building, for example, there's a lot of dust. Makes it difficult to breathe, and especially
Hypoxia.
affects people with asthma.
People from the White Helmets told us about the use of chemical weapons, but we saw no sign of that. If chemical weapons were used against those people, our medical staff would have also been affected.
We've sent a request to the White Helmets to comment on this, but have received no answer yet. What we have seen is more and more witnesses coming forward to say there was only panic and no evidence of chemicals.
So the video was genuine, but the White Helmets incited panic so they could get it on camera. All right, so that way they could give the United States of America a reason to attack Syria. All right, they work with the terrorists. They're funded by the United Kingdom and the American government to create propaganda. All right, and I'll prove that. All right, here's another video. This was a video showing a building that was destroyed. It was an ISIS compound. All right, and they found nothing but white helmet gear in there. All right, because the White Helmets are terrorists. Says, look what reporters found. Aleppo was liberated.
C'est le plus grand quartier général encore, je le répète. Et wait a minute. C'est des casques. Ça,
Helmets. Here, Daesh al-Nusra.
ça peut être ça.
All right.
Ça, c'est des white helmets.
Syrian rescue group known as the White
That's another
Helmets
stage
has
video.
apologized for an error.
That's another stage video. The mannequin. I'll pull that video up too. He's right there. All right. There's no noise, no nothing. And on cue, you hear people screaming, and then he starts moving and screaming. All right. It was a staged video.
Of judgment. That's after members of the group staged a rescue scene for the mannequin challenge in which people freeze for the camera. The action sparked anger across social media. This particular clip was deleted from the group's accounts only a few hours after it was posted.
And
yet the
CNN,
hero of the
MSNBC,
footage put a
they
photo
won't put that on
Facebook
television.
From the production, in his poster, he praises the White Helmets, thanking them for his rescue.
They work for terrorists. There's the White Helmets with al-Nusra, Al-Qaeda, ISIS. They're terrorists.
White helmets are welcomed at executions staged by jihadists. Obviously, no point trying to rescue that
Right
fella.
there next to the jihadists. All right. And their headquarters was always known to be by ISIS or al-Nusra. Oh, right here. Areas. All right. They operate there. All right. So let's read this. U.S. and U.K. governments said they together gave the White Helmets over $7 million, even though the White Helmets always operate in areas of ISIS and al-Nusra.
I'm proud to say we're giving them another, I think, £32 million. All
right. And again, they keep funding it. You think their intelligence agencies haven't, know the fact that they are actually working with the terrorists? You don't think they know that?
The Western officials who are supporting the terrorists during the last 5 years in Syria, either by providing them with political umbrella or supporting
They provide them with a political umbrella. All right, here's Erdogan. I have confirmed evidence. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan claims U.S.-led coalition forces have supported ISIS. All right, and that goes back to Project Timber Sycamore. All right, CIA is funding terrorism to overthrow a legitimate government so they could take their oil and resources.
The West always try to personalize things and just to avoid the real problem, which is about deposing government and getting rid of certain president just to bring puppets to suit their agenda.
And that's absolutely correct.
So going back to the beginning, no, I don't care about what Kerry said.
All right, now here's the video of them in the mannequin, the fake mannequin video. They are working for the United States, UK, Saudi Arabia, and Israel to stage propaganda and fund terrorism. They are terrorists.
White helmets have sparked anger online after posting a video of them faking saving someone while doing the so-called mannequin challenge, the viral video trend in which people freeze in motion and are video recorded. Well, this footage shows the group's rescue.
All right, look, he's perfectly still. You hear no noise in the background. And on cue, you hear people in the background scream, and then he starts screaming, and they rescue him. It's a staged video, propaganda.
Rescue is standing motionless, frozen over an apparently wounded man, and it does look realistic
Hollywood.
enough. So realistic, in fact, that it's raising serious questions about the authenticity of the White Helmets.
See that?
Frequently posted videos.
On cue, they start screaming, and he starts moving.
This particular video was deleted from the group's accounts a few hours.
If you think there's a legitimate bombing, you'd think people would be screaming, there'd be a tumult already. But he's staying perfectly still. On cue, you hear people in the background scream, and then he starts moving. And it's proven that the White Helmets are terrorists and work with al-Nusra and ISIS.
White Helmets has sparked anger online after posting a video of them faking saving someone while doing the so-called mannequin challenge, the viral video trend in which people freeze in motion and are video recorded. Well, this footage shows the group's rescuers standing motionless,
perfectly on cue. You hear screams and he moves.
It does look realistic enough. So realistic, in fact, that it's raising serious questions about the authenticity of of the White Helmet's other frequently posted videos.
Stage propaganda video.
The video was deleted from the group's accounts a few hours after it was posted.
And I just showed you a video of the White Helmets holding ISIS flags while Al-Nusra and ISIS are shooting guns. And the White Helmets are holding the Al-Nusra and ISIS flag doing the same thing. And everyone on CNN, MSNBC celebrates them and heroes, right? Why? Because the military-industrial complex owns the media. You'll never hear the truth on MSNBC, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post. You'll never hear the truth.
Unrelenting brutality, heroes have emerged. They have all chosen to risk their lives to save others,
making the Syrian civil defense a candidate for the Nobel Peace Prize.
There they are. White helmets with the terrorists. The gentleman in the middle, he's wearing a white helmet holding an ISIS flag. And that's not played on the news. And we just showed you. There's a terrorist that assassinated that man. That guy doesn't even need to be saved. And then they show up on film picking him up. Propaganda. Project Timber Sycamore. Funded by terrorists. Our CIA is funding terrorism.
Any individual in any group suspected of ties or relations with extremist groups or that we had believed to be a security threat to the United States, we would act accordingly. But that does not, by extension, mean we condemn or would cut off ties to the group for which that individual works for.
They're not neutral and partial. We just showed video that they're working with Al-Nusra and ISIS. And the UK's funding them, giving them £65 million. The United States is giving them $23 million. And here's a stage propaganda. They're funding them to create propaganda to fund terrorists. And they know it.
To explain why they then decided to delete the video from their online accounts. We can
independent journalist right here.
Vanessa Beeley, sorry, she's an independent researcher and journalist who does specialise in the Middle East and has written extensively about the White Helmets too. Good evening to you, Vanessa. What did you make of this mannequin video that's been posted and then removed?
Well, it was extraordinary. I've sort of been following this since it came online.
See that? On cue, she says the same thing.
And, or since I first picked up on it. And
on cue, you hear screaming, and then he starts moving.
Extraordinary. I mean, it's an extraordinary claim to make that it's a mannequin challenge, because this video went out. It went out with the hashtag mannequin challenge. However, it's a little bit unusual compared to some of the other mannequin challenges that I've just been quickly looking at, in the sense that, yes, they are immobile. Yes, they're not moving. But then we have this extraordinary soundtrack that kicks in. So it's not only that they start moving, we get the whole soundtrack of the bombs falling, the screams, and so on. And what we're now seeing...
They're terrorists. All right, point being. All right, so now I'm going to pull up scriptures. And, you know, of course, the Russians know this, Iran knows this, and Syria knows this. All right, and actually they become emboldened. Turkey is jumping ship, and is even more, their relationships with Iran and Russia has become stronger as a result of this whole Syria thing. So again, you know, in the scripture it says that to the wicked, he says that their table will become unto a snare to them. All right, and that table in the Latin means bank. So quite literally, you know, the United States, United Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, and Israel, their desire for wealth and everything, their bank, their money, their desire for money will become a snare unto them. All right, and that's exactly what this is happening. All right, so Jeremiah 50:35, a sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith Yahweh, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, it's America, and upon her princes, upon her wise men. Sword is upon the liars. All right, they're liars. They're funding terrorism. All right, and we just saw that that propaganda. White helmets, who we fund, who we know are terrorists, who we know assist terrorists. All right, we're funding them to give money to terrorists. All right, all goes back to Project Timber Sycamore, but on the media they celebrate them as heroes. Why? Because they're liars as well. All right, a sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. Sword is upon their horses, upon their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her. All right, sword is upon her horses and upon her chariots. Okay, the sword is also going to be upon Israel and Saudi Arabia. All right, because that is the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. All right, and upon the mingled people that are in the midst of her, Babylon, America. And they shall become as women, a sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. Okay, now that's why everyone's pulling gold out of the Federal Reserve. No one trusts in the American dollar no more because the American dollar is failing right now. I just looked at an article, more and more people, more and more nations are pulling the gold out of the Federal Reserve. All right, a drought is upon her waters. Okay, waters is what? Commerce. All right. Drought is upon her water. It could also be as commerce. All right. And they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. All right. So again, sword is upon Babylon the Great and upon all the liars. All right. And ultimately, we're in the midst of World War III right now. Again, war between Russia and Iran and the United States of America is imminent. All right. And we're in the midst of World War III right now. Ultimately, Babylon the Great, which is the United States of America, is going to be destroyed via nuclear weapons. So again, I want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, Call Hello Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, double honors, apostle, elders, great millstone, who are the holy apostles, prophets mentioned in the book of Revelation, and bless the Akim that are pushing the word in true sincerity. To all you men of great millstone, I say Barakatam, Bahasham Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, Waha, Racha, Quadash, and Shalom. All right, this video proves that the white helmets work with terrorists, are funded by the government, and the government knows that. It hasn't escaped the mind of the intelligence agency. And everybody is telling him that Syria is getting more and more chaotic. All right, America's going broke, and they need that oil. All right, we're in the midst of World War III right now. America is being exposed. Shalom.